What is up, guys? It has been 8 months. I know that because I was just looking on YouTube and seeing what was the last stuff I actually updated you guys with. I have recorded some stuff, not really much track action, but just some of the stuff along the way when I was trying to finish the build. And man, I left you guys out a lot of stuff out. My whole thing was I had a goal. You know, BTR reached out to me in January and they're like, do you want to see how fast you can go with an LT? I was like, sure. It took a few months to get the engine, and of course, we had to finish the firewall stuff, redoing the parachute, and then of course build a new turbo kit, hot side at least, and modify the cold side for the LT. So it took a while for stuff to come along, and then we got it and we ran into some little bugs that just happened. And honestly, my thing was I just had a goal. I didn't want to talk about what I was doing because I'm not a hype person. I'm very much a do it and then go from there. And then if I do accomplish a goal, I typically don't talk about a whole lot because they don't mean a whole lot to me. Like my end goal was just to be faster than the person I'm racing, and anything else is a bonus. At the same time, I've worked with BTR for years, and I want people to know that they offer a good product, and they're just basically really getting to the engine game this year. So let's just show what we can do with one of their engines. So that's what we did. It took a few months of trial and error, some broken parts, broken transmissions, weight, a bunch of extra weight, and all that stuff, but we made the goal happen. When Nick from BTR asked me about the whole deal, is this you want to go for the LT record? And once again, I don't get big on internet records, but the companies appreciate it, and it's also a challenge too, and it's a bit nerve-wracking. Like that was the goal, and to me, it wasn't worth talking about anything until we achieved the goal. So that's kind of where we're at. But that's a big reason I never updated. It was just all the free time was going into working on the program, and then working on the chassis and everything else. Like it's just what it took. And we were fortunate the last race of the year we were able to do what we were what the game plan was from the beginning. Though we ended up going a 4:24.3 at 175.37 or whatever. So over 5 miles per hour faster than we've been with the 5.3. We're also 250 pounds heavier as well. So it's a big difference. Getting the car figured out. New converter, new engine. There's so much stuff. And I keep saying and I apologize. But there's so many things different that it was just a job to get everything how it should be. And adding the weight, certainly made things more difficult because it makes the springs react different, makes the chassis react different. We're making substantially more power now. Like if you go off of the Wallace Racing calculator and you do mile per hour versus weight in the eighth, it says it can ride over 2,300, which is cool to say. I'm not gonna lie, it's cool to say that. It's like, yeah, I got 2,300 horsepower Mustang. What's up? But it's just a lot of different stuff. But that being said, we're now in December. We're 2 days from Christmas. Today's the 23rd, December 23rd. So we're getting ready to go in the 24, and my goal was to actually keep you guys updated. I'll try to do like I did back in the day. We'll see what happens. I get busy with work, running the shop and everything, and I'll lose focus on this stuff. And I don't really make a penny off of this stuff, and that's okay. It's whatever. Some people do enjoy it. In the past year or 2 years, I became like a huge consumer of YouTube content. Like I used to never watch a lot of these guys that are popular, and I just started. Whenever John would watch them at lunch, I would just kind of catch stuff, and eventually I started watching. So that's you know, I don't expect to make anything off of this or get big by at all. But if I can update the people that care, cool, that's awesome. And it gives me a chance just to ramble on for a little bit. But so let me update you guys with how everything from the last video, the best I can that I can recall, and then how the season ended. So I'd like to start this video off by thanking our sponsor, Black Rifle Coffee. Just kidding, I pay for this stuff, but I would love for them to send me some free stuff. And I'm sure none of them will see the video, and I will continue buying it anyways because I do like it. So let's get to update you guys from the video. Last from the video, I was just talking about how we were going to have a new engine combo and definitely going to make more power, yada yada yada. So built the headers ourselves, of course, built the hot side, modified the charge pipe a little bit, and we got the new engine in. It's a BTR built LAT block. So it's the 407 bore, aluminum rod deal with the LAT crank. CID solid heads ported by Caesar Tellis. I think it's CT Porting is his deal. Does a great job, obviously. Of course, Nick spec the cam, so all BTR valve train, as you would also expect, because those guys have been testing and testing and testing their valve train stuff in house, and they're doing a great job. So it's really cool stuff they're learning there, and it's cool to see someone like Brian who's been in the industry for so long. He could sit back and just make money, but instead he would rather continue to grow and develop and offer more to the racing community. And I'm a little off center, and I apologize. So we got the combo going, and it was on the dyno. We definitely saw some good results right away. It's up some power, you know. So we, just to kind of be transparent on things, we tried a vacuum pump. The vacuum pump just, you know, was pulling from the valley cover and dumping back into one of the burn down tubes, and it just couldn't move or alleviate the pressure. It was good at idle, but it wasn't doing anything under boost, and it was a restriction at that point. So a couple pulls on the dyno on 6 pounds, removed it, and then we got to tuning. I noticed early on, I was like, you know, it's making good power per pound of boost, but it is certainly taking some dome pressure. Well, I think it got to like 29 pounds or whatever, and the car kind of shuts me down up top. And I was like, well, that's weird, you know, log looks good. You know, I did find a fuel leak after that by watching the video, and just looking, and then I realized there's little pieces of stuff in the dyno floor. Well, come to find out, I had left a 3-inch purge plug in the crossover when I built the crossover and finished welding it, and totally forgot, and it just took it a minute to work its way out. So when it did, trashed the turbine wheel, sent the turbo to Jose, and he took care of it. You know, obviously, I took care of me and fixed it. I paid for it. And he got a different turbine housing. He's like, you know, do the wheel with this turbine housing, and it's a better turbine wheel anyways, and it'll be a more efficient combo. So cool. Do that, put it back on there without the crossover, and it makes good power. Makes really good power. It made a little more than the 5.3 on like 14 pounds less boost. So I was like, sweet, we got a solid deal here. And that was on the dyno. You know, I never maxed the 5.3 out on the dyno, but you know, my dyno it's not made for that power level. You could just tell by the eddy current motor on it, it starts to not be able to hold the power back as you get in those power levels. So get that going, and then we're getting ready to go to the track, and John notices that the compressor housing V-band's loose. Well, lo and behold, when I put it on there, got in a rush and let the compressor housing loose, and guess what? We have now clearance the compressor wheel. I was like, Jesus, man. So I go to the track anyways, and it's like a 96.5 or something when I measure it. It's lost a little bit. Super stupid, but whatever. I go to the track with it, And before that, so the nose bias sucks. It was like 61.5% with the iron block. We raised the front up as far as we could, try to do some things to make up for the bias. We get to the track, it shows potential on mile per hour, like a 60, like 160 on like 30 pounds. I don't remember, something like that. It's showing some potential, but it's still not that great. I mean, it was great it was good for what it was, but I just wasn't able to get after it hard. Once again, the bias sucked. Well, we get it back, get the turbo fixed, go out again, try some more soft stuff. I think it might have went a high 40 at like mid 160s and a little bit more boost, but still not quite getting there yet. Ended up bringing the car back. I built a ballast setup to go in the chassis because I'm like, I need to get this ballast as effective as possible. Put it all the way back in the trunk. I built a bar across, and it can hold up to 150 pounds, and I put 125 on it. So it holds 125 pounds, gets us like 57 and some change on the nose. I like that a lot better. I got some flexibility, and I can pull some weight out if I need it. I still haven't pulled it out, by the way. Anyhow, excuse me. So go back to the track. End up going like a 39 at like high 160s. I'm like, awesome. And then the next day we're out there and the car's just slowing down, not going any faster. And we make another hit and slows down more. And we're like, man, something's not right. Something in the transmission's acting up, and then it ends up pushing the rear main seal out. Well, come to find out, the transmission, we took it apart, and the front pump had some scarring. Ended up, I think this is the correct order. I could be a little wrong. I'm wrong. We didn't do it. So that happened, but it was after this. So car makes a pass, but it's just not. It didn't do well. It was slowed down a whole lot. For whatever reason, I end up pulling. I'm sorry. I'm so blank here, guys. But I ended up pulling the oil pan off. Come to find out, you could just see clear signs that we were flexing the LAT crank hard. I'm talking like it was the front weight was like barely rubbing the front of the block, and it wasn't the thrust issue because thrust was great. So we're like, all right. So talk to BTR. They get back. They're trying to think of a game plan. We end up sending me a 4-inch crank and the appropriate pistons, roughly the same compression ratio still, and end up putting that in there. Go back to the track after I put another rear cover on it, and we end up making some more progress, and we end up going like a 40 something at like, was it a soft 60, like a 119.60, like a 41, like 170, 171, which I was like, heck yeah, that's awesome mile per hour, and you know what? We did fix the transmission before that. We put a new front pump in it and did a roller bearing conversion. So sorry guys, I'm all over the place. I am trying to remember this stuff after months. So transmission, we went through it, did that. Ended up winning that race, the only race we won this year. But went to 41, so I was like, heck yeah, 171. I thought it was cool because before I had to work so hard with the 5.3 to go 170, 169, and this thing we just did it on less boost, and it was good bit easier. I don't think it was like high 30s or something maybe. Then we go out again, and one thing I found out too when we pushed the rear main, the LT rear main for whatever reason, it's how it's designed. And I had read about this as well. It does not seem to like boost as much, and it's going to be easier to push out. I put an LS one in it. Since then, been far more aggressive on it, and have yet to have an issue since. Still use the LT rear cover, of course, just have an LS rear main in. Then I go to the track, and after winning that one, and it was Nitrous Nationals in September. A week later. And we're testing, and I end up testing on Friday night, have a wire come loose on the number 1 injector, and it's my fault the way the harness was routed. It's been like that for a couple seasons, but apparently it started making intermittent contact, and it lost contact and lost number 1 injector about a second into the run. popped the head gasket, blew oil everywhere, small fire, burned, like singed all the fuel and oil lines, all that good stuff. So end up fixing that. Thankfully, it didn't hurt the head, it didn't hurt the block, but it just made a mess, and I'm still finding oil in places. I'm back. All right, so get the head gasket issue fixed. I built a new sub harness for the injectors that I can route a little bit differently, and that's what it was, a sub harness. Cam loose, so both injectors number one lost power because they are wired together on every cylinder. So did that, and we ended up doing a rental at Shadyside on a Thursday. I'm like, man, you know, this is late September at this point, early October. I'm like, I'm running out of time. I need to, let's just do a rental. Chase our boat a little bit, ended up going like a 106 60 foot, and then right when we get to a 60, the car power wheel is to the left. Well, all right, so we make a small rear steer change, go back out, I think the same tune-up, go 109, and on the gear change, it broke the transmission and fills the passenger side of the car transmission fluid. And I'll have to make sure I put the video in here, man. One of the stupidest things you'll ever see in your life. But so ended up breaking the transmission and get it apart. For whatever reason, the high gear clutches got burned up. So replaced the clutches, the clutches, the seals on that drum. Converter looked good, so took care. You know, just cleaned out all that stuff out and put it back together, and just made sure the clearances were where we wanted them at. Then we go to Piedmont. That day off the trailer, I let off the button. I felt like a dip, and it goes and shifts and goes, and I'm like, well, you know, I wonder what that was. I wonder if it was on somewhere with the transmission. Well, went like a 110 60 foot on a 427 at 173. I was like, whoa, you know, 173, most mile per hour I've been. I was like, that's pretty crazy. You know, I was not expecting that. So we get it back. The little dip I felt ended up being the wheelie control. It just got, I had tightened it up after the wheelie at Shadyside, and it got into that range, and what I felt was it just knocking the wind out of it. So go up again, have Jeff Shaver first round with the Black Widow car, which is a Pro Charge Noonan deal, so faster than me. Well, ended up having a good race, but only because he had issues, but I did too. For some reason, number 5 went cold like right off the break. Got back to the pits, I noticed that because it went like a 40 at 163. I'm like, what the heck happened, you know? Thankfully I had a spare coil. I put the old plug back in because I didn't have any more new ones, and changed that. Went there and made a test hit, and went to 424.3 at 175.3. And that's what there ended up being the LT record. And still only a 110 60 foot. The first second and a half is super soft. I know the car has so much more in it, even at its current weight. But now we're in the winter, and I'm already working on changes. So what I'm going to do, this video right here is just kind of a recap of everything. I'm sorry if it's a little jumbled, because I'm remembering the best I can, and it has been a few months. You know, I'm trying to just update you guys and see, you know, update you guys with everything. Appreciate those of you that stuck with me. I mean, you know, I don't get a whole lot of views on the videos, and I don't really care. I am going to try to be more active this coming season. And actually, what I want to do now, I want to turn this camera off, give it a few minutes, and then I'm going to start updating for the next video. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.